Hello, my name is David. That white van that you're looking at right there behind me, that's my van. Been my home for over 5 years now. And as a result of that, made some friends here recently that are into this van lifestyle. And one of them was recommending to me or suggested that I start a YouTube channel. So I suppose this will be the first video of my YouTube channel. Looking around me, you see I'm in a park environment. It's actually Anclote River Park. There's a beach over here I wanted to come hang out at for a little bit, relax, and then head on over to a friend's house. And last night, by the way, my thoughts, they would jump from one place to another place. You'll probably notice that pretty quick. You may have already noticed that. I'm not into scripting things. I just say what's on my mind. So anyway, last night, while sitting in a Walmart parking lot, I got this bright idea to post a video on Facebook, announcing, letting people know that it's been recommended to me, or suggested to me, that I start a YouTube channel for this van lifestyle, because I've been doing it for a long time. And I made a statement that I would let people know when and how I began the journey of a van lifer. So the simple part of it is, I was sitting at a traffic light in my car one day in the summer, I believe it was June of 1979. I was 19 years old. And while sitting in my car, my van was at my house. Actually, I owned a duplex in Norwood, Ohio. That's part of Cincinnati, Ohio. So while sitting in my car, a co-worker and friend of mine, Stuart Edwards, was in the car with me. I had this thought flew through my mind, and the thought was, I'm going to Florida. It just popped in my mind. So I looked over to Stuart and I said, Stuart, I'm going to Florida. Do you want to go with me? He thought I was pulling his leg. So he said, sure. So he went to his place, got a bag of clothes. He was living with a girlfriend. He didn't tell her anything. Went to my place, I got a bag of clothes. I had a fiance. I completely forgot I had a fiance. I just bought my house 6 months before that. I didn't tell anybody, I just got a bag of clothes. We got in my car. I left my van sitting there in the driveway. We got in my car and we drove south. He kept thinking I was going to turn around and go back. No, I made that spontaneous decision. I'm going to Florida. This is June 1979. So I went south. And I kept going south, and I kept going south, and we arrived in Florida. And a couple weeks later, he decided to hitchhike back home to Ohio. I stayed in Florida, continued sleeping in my car, working, hanging drywall, and traveling around some. And then this one day, I realized, wait a minute, in Ohio, at my house, I have a van, and it would be a lot easier to sleep in my van than it is to sleep in my car, because I could stretch out, right? So I drove back to Ohio. I parked my car, got in my van, and I drove south, came back to Florida. Well, what did I do in preparation? I didn't prepare. I just simply made a decision. I'm going to Florida. I came to Florida. After being in Florida for a little bit of time, I realized, wait a minute, I got a van. It'd be more comfortable sleeping in my van than it is sleeping in my car. Now, my car was a 1977 Nova. And this was 1979, so my car is only 2 years old. It runs good, has air conditioning, and it looks nice. My van is a 1967 GMC window van. It was loud. It was a gas hog. It had no air conditioning. But what it did have was space for me to lay out, stretch out, and sleep. And so what did I do for a bed? Way back then, we had these, I don't know what you call them, cots. Not exactly a cot. It's a lounge chair that, metal frame, and then there's like the plastic tubing that you lay on across, but for like swimming pools and beaches. Just a lounge that you lay on for sun tanning. Well, I had one of those because I like going to the beach. That was my bed. That was my bed for I don't know how many months. Eventually, I went ahead and I bought a house again, or another house I should say, and sold the house I had in Ohio. But I was sleeping in my van, living out of my van for a few months here in Florida, sweating my ass off. That's how it all began for me. A couple years later, I did it again but it lasted a lot longer. I'll tell you about that story another time. But right now, just wanted to get a video together to start my YouTube channel about van lifestyle. My name is David. My lifestyle in the van began before I even knew it. I didn't actually decide to become a van lifer or a van dweller or to live the van lifestyle. Lifestyle. I didn't make those decisions. I simply decided I'm going to Florida. That's how it all began for me. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.